What if I told you that this was the same person? Would you believe me? What if I told you the only difference between these people and you was plastic surgery? If you want boobs, you can get them. Want to lose weight? You can buy that. Hate your nose? You can literally redesign your entire face. The only thing you need is... The internet loves to sell us the fantasy that beauty is just good genetics, discipline, and the right skincare routine. And though that's not entirely wrong, those things do have a big part to play. Let's be real. Beauty is often bought. Even I've had plastic surgery, but what I got done is really weird and kind of embarrassing. So maybe I'll tell you at the end of the video. I want to preface that I personally have nothing against plastic surgery. Every single person is entitled to do what they want with their body. And we're going to talk about why people might do some of these procedures, but I think it's really helpful to understand that people get plastic surgery because it's really easy to compare ourselves, and we will always be found lacking until we understand that it's not just genetics. You're not ugly. You're just poor. Let's talk about Cara Loren, a Utah-based influencer who is known for her flawless face, natural beauty, and effortless glow. I honestly love Cara. I love her content. Check her out. She seems like a really lovely person. But rewind a few years ago, she was just another girl next door. The difference? A little or potentially a lot of plastic surgery. She was beautiful before and she's beautiful now, but it's pretty clear when you compare the two pictures that things have changed, and it's not just age. Next up, Jean Watts, a singer, model, influencer. Her transformation is almost unrecognizable. The key procedures, most likely a rhinoplasty, a boob job, maybe a brow lift or cheek filler, or maybe a cheek implant. The reason why I'm pointing out these two women is when I saw them for the first time, I immediately felt blown away by their beauty. Almost unearthly beauty that they currently possess may not have been a gift from God, but rather a gift from their plastic surgeons. So they have not come out to say they've had plastic surgery. At least I'm not aware of them coming out and saying it. These are just my assumptions and thoughts. But when I saw them before what looks like a few procedures and tweaks, it just kind of makes you feel, I don't know, more okay with yourself, if that makes any sense, just to understand that plastic surgery is a common procedure. Lori Hill does an amazing job on her channel sharing different celebrities and the work that they've done. And the reason she does this is never to shame plastic surgery, but rather to help people understand why they can't compare themselves to people who have been surgically enhanced. Someone like Margot Robbie is stunning, has always been stunning, but after getting some tweaks and most likely getting different procedures, her beauty is Barbie level, right? It just helps us understand why we may not be looking like these women, and maybe can help us more normal people feel beautiful in our own skin. Oh my gosh, yeah, you got a big bicep. We're constantly fed the idea that these women just grew up with their looks, or that puberty and a really good skincare routine changed everything for them. But the reality is that most influencers and celebrities invest in their beauty and looks the same way a business would. Their looks are their business. The harsh truth, but the more beautiful someone is, the more followers they are more likely to have. Not always correlated, but we are drawn to beauty, and it's a really powerful asset in a business, especially when you are the business. Honestly, I think a lot of us should look in the mirror as well before we judge, because if we had unlimited money for chefs, nutritionists, personal trainers, dermatologists, a dedicated body plastic surgeon, facial plastic surgeon, injectables, the best products, who would not use that if they were able to? Maybe some people would. I would totally use those things if I could. Just like, why would you not? Here are some of the most popular enhancements that are happening to a lot of influencers you may see. And this is how much they cost in general. Rhinoplasty, $10,000 to $20,000. Yes, you can go to Turkey and get it for around $3,000 to $6,000, but in general, a rhinoplasty is a lot of money. Buccal fat removal, $5,000. Upper blepharoplasty, $3,500 to $6,000. Breast augmentation, $6,000 to $12,000. And that does not include a lift. If you get a lift, it's gonna be a lot more money. Liposuction in one area is around $3,000 to $6,000. And if you get it in multiple areas of your body, it's around $7,000 to $12,000. Ozempic is the cheapest of the semaglutide medications. And in Canada, you can get this for around $300 to $400 a month. However, in the States, it actually costs around $800 USD a month. So it's significantly more expensive over there. Sorry, America. Other semaglutide medications like Mounjaro, Wegovy, those are more expensive than Ozempic. So you might be paying around $1,000 a month in the States or more. Fillers and Botox cost around $1,000 to $3,000 per session. I think a full syringe of filler costs around $750. So those are not cheap either. If you invest in high-end skincare and facials, that is gonna cost you around $5,000 plus a year. So looking like an Instagram model is not just a glow up, it's actually an investment. But here's the refreshing part. Some influencers and celebrities are done hiding. They've decided to be transparent about their procedures. And also, it's okay if people aren't transparent because they don't owe us anything. However, I do find it very enlightening and helpful when people are willing to share what they have done. Kylie Jenner famously admitted to getting lip filler. However, she has not famously admitted to getting many other procedures. I think she was honest about her breast augmentation, but at least she was honest about something. Chrissy Teigen opened up about her breast implants and her buccal fat removal, which looks amazing on her. She's definitely a good candidate for that procedure. Not everyone is though. Ari on TikTok has been really open about her plastic surgeries. She shares she's gotten a breast augmentation, rhinoplasty, liposuction. I think she got something on her chin. Anyways, she's been really open and transparent about what it takes to look like her, which I just think is awesome and just makes people seem more authentic and relatable, which is really cool. Lydia Fowler makeup on TikTok has also been really open and honest about her rhinoplasty journey, and I also just think that's so cool. Also, rhinoplasties happen all the time. Don't be swayed. So many people tweak their nose, and it looks really good on a lot of people too. It's a great procedure if you're open to it and you have the money, because man, it's expensive. Valeria has also been very honest about her rhinoplasty journey and raves about the results she has received and the confidence she feels in having these procedures. Being open about cosmetic procedures is still more of a rarity in our world, but when it happens, it is a much needed reminder that beauty isn't purely natural. It's a choice. These women are taking ownership of their image, and I think that's a conversation we should be having more often. There's this trainer who I follow on TikTok, and he talks a lot about how there are so many girls in the fitness industry who lie specifically about getting BBLs. This is a big deal because a lot of these women have gotten their butt surgically enhanced, but then they say it's their squat program, and then they sell these fitness programs to grow their butt, but they grew their butt with money, not with squats. I mean, they probably squatted too, but you know what I'm saying? So there's some deception happening that just isn't cool. The issue isn't plastic surgery itself. It's the illusion. Young women are comparing themselves to surgically enhanced beauty and wondering why they don't measure up. Kind of like how I talk in Skinny Talk, how Liv Schmidt was so sick of influencers lying about what they ate, so she was honest about what she did, and then the internet canceled her when she was just sharing what it actually took to become skinny versus these girls that were skinny but lied about how they did it. If you have ever looked at an influencer or celebrity and felt bad about yourself, remember that you are not ugly. You're just looking at a filtered, edited, often surgically enhanced individual. It's a version of reality, but that is not reality. Money buys beauty. Don't let social media make you forget that. Okay, I told you that I would share with you what plastic surgery I got. What I actually did is here in the center of my face, I had a huge chickenpox scar from when I was a baby. you young people don't get the chicken pox anymore, but we used to get the chicken pox. So I had a scar in the center of my face right here, and I noticed that it was becoming more concave. So this circle was starting to sink in my skin, and it was becoming a lot more noticeable, probably not to other people, but it was getting really noticeable to me. So I talked to my doctor about it, and she said that if I was interested, I could go to a plastic surgeon she recommended just to sew it in. So I ended up doing that a few years ago, and it was such a short procedure. They just sewed in my chickenpox scar, so they it took away the little hole in the center of my face, and over time the scar has healed really beautifully. I have found that different tools like the Banish have been amazing at helping reduce the look of my scar. But just that tiny procedure cost me $500. Yes, you might say, why on earth did you spend that? I don't know, I didn't want a hole in the center of my face, so I thought I'd do it. And I was working full time, so it didn't really seem like a big deal. But even someone like me, who doesn't have a lot of money, who doesn't have people in my life getting surgery, even I've had something done, you know? And I've shared openly how when I can afford it, I like to get Botox on my 11s. I've gotten a tiny bit of filler in my lips, I think half a syringe, so not a lot, but a little. Things like that. And even those things have cost me thousands of dollars. They are not cheap. It is not cheap to invest in beauty. If you have ever gotten something done and you feel comfortable, share in the comments. I think it can be really helpful to be transparent with each other, and also it helps us shed light on this illusion that we're creating. I think transparency is really beautiful and helpful. So regardless of if you've gotten plastic surgery, you've never had plastic surgery, you like all natural, you don't like natural, whatever it is, you are so beautiful. Every single person has beauty within them. Even if it might not be worldly beauty, you are beautiful. I think Mother Teresa was one of the most beautiful women in the world, and she was also one of the most wrinkly ones near the end, but that made her so beautiful because beauty shines from within. Kindness is one of the most beautiful traits you could ever possess. So today, wherever you are at, know that you have beauty within you and outside of you. And also know that what you see is not always the truth. Don't judge those people, but rather be kind to yourself. We're not here to go, you got this done, you got that done. We're not here to judge and shame, but rather look within and go, okay, I recognize that these women I compared myself to are not fully natural, and that's okay. It just helps me know that I'm okay just the way I am. And maybe I don't look like them, but maybe if I spent a bit of money I could, but you don't have to. It just helps us have a better understanding of ourselves, and hopefully it helps us love ourselves more. Wherever you are on your journey, know that you're beautiful. Give yourself so much grace and extend grace to others. Bye guys, see you in the next one.